Hello, Omaha, and welcome back to Keep Moving It Forward, a table talk for the City of Omaha Human Rights and Relations Department. I'm Lori O'Brien.
And I'm Laura Aite, and our department has been tasked in part with enforcing federal and local anti-discrimination laws that protect individuals from discrimination in housing, employment, and places of public accommodation. If you believe that you have experienced discrimination or simply need more information on your employment and housing rights, please contact our office at 402-444-5055, or you can visit our website at humanrights.cityofomaha.org.
And thank you for joining us last time when we spoke to Jared Anderson from our department, and I'm excited to introduce our guest for today, GERALD M.Q. II. GERALD is a proven human rights expert with over 15 years of serving the public, currently as the Director of Human Rights and Relations for the City of Omaha. In his role, he oversees the Civil Rights Investigation and Small and Emerging Business Program, and also serves as the citywide ADA coordinator. He works closely with the Mayor Jean Stothert of Omaha as her liaison to several city boards and has recently been tasked with improving police and community relations in the City of Omaha through the Restorative Justice Program. GERALD has received congressional and statewide honors for his leadership in the state of Michigan and Nebraska, and is currently serving as an elected official on the Learning Community Board in Omaha, Nebraska. He holds an undergraduate degree in criminal justice and 2 master's degrees in counseling and social justice. GERALD enjoys serving marginalized and disenfranchised population and loves to spend time with his 2 sons and immediate family. His motto is, "Why be good when great is possible?" Please welcome GERALD.
Thank you. I appreciate that warm introduction, Lori.
You bet. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're excited to talk to you today.
I am glad to be here, and I'm honored that I finally get a chance to see what you guys do, and I've watched the show several times, but being on this side is great.
Yeah, great. Well, welcome. And could you just kind of start by telling us a little bit in general, like what is restorative justice?
So a good way to explain restorative justice is, Laura, if you break into my house and steal something from my house, the police would find you and arrest you. But what would happen to me? You broke into my house, I would feel, I don't know if you've ever had something stolen from you, but I would feel like I need to protect myself a lot better. I need to protect my kids, I need to protect my family, I need to protect my possessions a lot more than I would had you not broken in. But what happens to you? You go down, you get arrested, you go in front of the judge, but nothing solves my pain or the trauma that I've went through. So what restorative justice does is puts us 2 in a room and with a guided facilitator ask questions so I can understand why you broke into my house. I can then tell you what I've been experiencing, and you can tell me why you broke into my house and how you may be experiencing some things, some struggles that made you want to break into my house. And hopefully we can come to an understanding. It's not that we're going to leave out of the room best friends, but at least you understand that that there is another perspective that you weren't thinking about or I wasn't thinking about. It doesn't escape accountability, but it actually adds more accountability because now you have to sit with my feelings of feeling the trauma that you caused in my life. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Can you kind of talk about like what the concept or philosophy behind the word restorative justice means?
Okay, so restorative means to make whole, and justice is to make right. So we want to make the person whole, and we want to make things right. And the restorative justice program was started in 2020 after the protests that were worldwide. And the mayor, Jean Stothert, she did not like what was going on, and she wanted to bridge the gap between community and police relations. And doing that, she had a conversation with the then city prosecutor, Matt Kuhn, and he asked me, did I know anything about restorative justice? So the police chief, myself, and the mayor, and the city prosecutor got together, and I developed a program, a curriculum over the next 6 months about restorative justice, and just to have strategic conversations. And we started to move forward with a pilot program that we rolled out in Lincoln and Omaha to kind of put police and the protesters in a room and have some guided conversations to see if we can come to an understanding and see each other's perspective.
Mm-hmm. And it probably helped to have that background, you know, that degree
Yes.
in criminal justice.
Yes, it did. Because police, they're the law and order, and people have different variations of law and order. And so when the public really gets a chance to sit down with law enforcement to know police operations, they understand what they did was wrong 9 times out of 10, and then they want to know more about the police. So it's actually a learning experience for community and police, because the police get a chance to hear from the public how what their struggles are from a community aspect, and the police can be the professional people that they are, and talk to the community about what they do and why they do the things that they do. I really feel it is a beneficial conversation for both parties.
And so you've been really instrumental in starting this program for the city.
Yes.
Could you kind of tell us a little bit about the structure of this specific program, how it works, or who qualifies for the program?
Sure. So if it's not a felony arrest for one, and if you're arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct, obstruction of justice, and resisting arrest, the city prosecutor makes a determination if you are eligible to be in the restorative justice program. And if you get accepted into the program, you have the opportunity to attend the class and then do some community service, stay out of trouble for the next 6 months, and have the charge erased off your record. But the police make an arrest. The law, the prosecutor, the police make an arrest, and you go to jail or you get bonded out, and the prosecutor then says, okay, hey, we can accept you into our program. And then they call the Human Rights and Relations Department and schedule a time to attend the class. And then we accept them into the class, and they go through this 4-hour-long class with the police officer or supporting officer that arrested them. And then they go do community service, and then they do an exit interview. So it's a lot of accountability there on the person that was arrested. That's a lot of time for them to see how their actions may have caused harm to the community. Yeah.
How often are the classes held then?
We have one class a month. We alternate between a night class and a morning class, because we know that people either work during the day or work at night, and so we want to make sure that they have time that they can attend this and still go to work.
Right. And so, in your experience, like conducting this program, have there been any challenges in facilitating it thus far?
Yes. Early on, there have been a lot of challenges that you might expect.
Right.
During 2020, when we were doing the pilot, there was a lot of tension still there with the public and with the police. And so diffusing that tension and allowing that tension to come out in a structured way where the police officers could express their feelings behind the protests, and the community could come forth and say, hey, in a safe environment, and say, hey, these are the barriers, these are the things that people are struggling with police, and how can we make better police and community relations, because we all have to live together. And police are a part of the community. They work 8 hours a day or however long that they work, and then they take the uniform off, and they are a citizen as well. So we all have to live in the city of Omaha together and coexist together.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you as a facilitator to remain unbiased in that environment?
That is a very hard question, Lori, but at times it is, because I want to, all the time I want to mend the hurt and harm. And I, as a citizen, I see the struggles that the community has, but I also have been on the other side, and I've been able to take some, I've been in, I think, 13 of the, I don't know how many classes our police officers take when they're in the academy, but I've taken some classes in the police academy, and so I understand why law enforcement does what they do. They have procedures for a reason. They have, and it's all to keep themselves safe and keep the public safe. So I understand both perspectives, and the hardest thing for me is to understand what I guess what frustrates me is when there are clear principles laid out in front of a person, whether that be law enforcement or the citizen, and they can't see what we're moving towards, and they can't see the other person's perspective. So that gets a little frustrating, but I have to remain in the middle, and we move forward from there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard not to make it, you can't make somebody whole again,
Yes.
like the participants,
Yep.
and that's a hard
Yeah.
thing to,
I mean, when we're all human, so we
Yes,
want
but-
everybody to get along, and
Right.
we want people to be happy. So it's hard when somebody
is hurting.
is hurting. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want to heal them.
Yes,
You want to help
yes.
them. Yeah.
But that's not our role.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
So that's really cool that you have taken some of the classes or been in the classes at the police academy.
Yes,
That
yes.
was super cool. And you know, when you see a police-involved shooting and an officer has to unfortunately use a firearm or non-lethal methods, it is very stressful. And the police have a virtual reality room that you can go in, and they give you a fake gun, but it feels like a real
Wow.
gun.
Wow.
And they put you in a scenario where you either have to shoot or don't shoot. And there are different sensory things, like they have wind blowing. It's loud music, loud noise sometimes. They put you in different situations where you have to think, and whether you're going to pull your weapon and deploy and administer lethal force or not. And it's very stressful.
You have just a split second to make that
Yes,
decision.
yeah. And I now after going through that, I have a different respect for law enforcement because of the decisions they have to make in a blink of an eye. You know, something that could either take somebody's life or somebody could take their own life. They have to choose between life and death at sometimes, and that's a very hard decision to make.
For sure.
Yeah. But it was still fun going through the training,
Yeah.
and I did push-ups with the cadets, and and I went through a lot of the mental and psychological classes that the police take at the academy.
I would never pass.
I don't think I would either.
Right, no.
It's
Yeah.
It's difficult. The physical aspect of it is more challenging now in my seasoned age than the mental stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm sure that you've had these challenges, but I'm sure there's also been some like success stories and
Yes.
outcomes, positive
Yes.
outcomes of the program.
We have actually had an officer that arrested a young woman hear her story and why she was out. After hearing her story, the officer got some other officers to buy her Christmas presents.
Wow.
They hugged at the end. Both of them cried, and they talked about challenges. And the officer was a female officer. She really wanted to help that individual, so she actually became her mentor, and is now they're still in contact to this day. So I really appreciate just people taking time out to help other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means a lot.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
That kind of gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So what are typically the charges that are accepted into the, or what do you see?
So it's mainly disorderly conduct, obstruction of justice, and resisting arrest are the three main charges. But you get some other charges sprinkled in there. It just depends on what the prosecutor feels can help. The city prosecutors really understand the goal of the restorative justice program is to bridge those gaps and allow community to have productive conversations with law enforcement to understand each other's perspective. So there's some other charges that are allowed in, so we can kind of start healing the community. Yeah.
And now, is this program kind of? It sounds like it's like a unique program in the country. Are there any
Yeah.
other programs like this?
So originally, I thought that we were the only one because it was so hard to find other programs, other restorative justice diversion programs. But there, I think, are about 8 around the country that actually are restorative diversion programs, because there's a lot of municipalities out there that may offer restorative justice as a option, but they do not allow the citizen to take away their charge. So I think the city of Omaha is really progressive with that, allowing the individual to go through this program, and once they go through the program and don't have negative contact with the police for 6 months, the charge gets wiped off their record and the slate is clean. So that is very good for an individual that needs a second chance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's really important perspective to understand too.
Yeah.
You know, that charges on someone's record can really affect a person for like the rest of their life.
Oh yeah, I mean we've all had situations in our life that we need a second chance,
Yeah,
and or things that we have done that just we didn't get caught.
Right.
I definitely am one to fall in that category, but I'm glad that I learned from my mistakes and didn't get caught, and I'm thankful that the city of Omaha has this program to be able to give all people a opportunity for that second chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Gerald, what do you like most about leading this program?
I love seeing the people's reaction come in as they come in. I've always been a person who loves to study people. So the officers are nervous when they're coming to the class as well,
Oh, really?
as well as the participants. So because I asked the police to come in plain clothes, not showing their badge or not showing their firearm, so they look just like a regular citizen, and the citizens are nervous, and so when they come in, we sit in a circle environment and we do an exercise, an icebreaker exercise that breaks everybody down, and kind of is a fun exercise where they can't talk for 15 minutes, and their objective they're only given 2 materials. They're given newspaper and
Oh,
tape,
gosh.
and they have to build a newspaper tower in 15 minutes, but they can't talk. And so seeing who can build the tallest tower in 15 minutes, it gets really fun, it gets really exciting, and it really breaks them down, and they find out that they have a lot more in common than they do, than they have differences. And then I love asking the get to know you questions. The two questions I ask mostly are, what was your favorite TV program as a kid, and what your favorite cereal is? And the crowd favorite by and large is Captain Crunch.
I knew it.
Or it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch as well. So
That's
there's a lot of
hilarious.
officers that still eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and there's a lot of people who still love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So that really breaks people down. You'd be surprised at how you become friends over cereal.
Right, that's so funny. What a
Yeah.
great idea, though.
Yeah.
So, do you have any goals for the program for 2023?
Yes, so going into 2023, I would love to expand the program. I would love to have more restorative justice trainers, and I would love to expand the type of charges that can come into the restorative justice diversion program, because I think that what goes on in the 4-hour session is truly magical, and there's a lot of healing that goes on the citizen on part of the citizen and the police officers. So being able to allow more charges into the program can only bridge the gap and close the gap between police and the community.
Right,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
That's
I
great.
love it, and I'm looking forward to our next class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's good stuff happening.
Yes.
We'll just ask you if you have any final comments or anything else you'd like to share about the program.
If you feel that the restorative justice program is the right thing for you, or you want to learn more about the program, please call in to Omaha Human Rights and Relations Department at 402-444-5055. We are always open to go out to different communities to enlighten the public on what is going on in the Human Rights and Relations Department, and how the restorative justice diversion program works. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on and
Thank you for
telling us
having me.
about
This has been awesome.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us. Be sure to tune in again next month. And once again, if you believe you have experienced discrimination, please contact our office at 402-444-5055 and visit our website at humanrights.cityofomaha.org. I'm Lori O'Brien.
And I'm Laura Aite, and this has been Keep Moving Forward.